Salut! Dans cette vidéo, we will learn about l'accord sujet-verbe. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is this accord? It is just the agreement between the subject, the thing or the person doing the action, and the verb, which is the action word. As we have learned in the previous lesson, the verb will need to change its form depending on the time of the action, which is a tense, and depending on the person doing the action. If I say, I am playing football, I will need to change the am for are if I now wanted to speak for you, as you don't say you am, but you say you are. It is just the same in French, but we usually only change the ending of the words, not the entire word, and this for each person and tense. So, what are we going to discover in this conjugation chapter? We are going to discover what is the ending we need for each person or each subject and for each tense, which might seem a lot, but trust me, there are a lot of logical rules and patterns that I will give you to help you memorize them all. I will show you how to build our French verbs, just like a puzzle. First of all, I would like to go through the different pronoun personnel with you to make sure we know where we stand and start on strong foundation, as I know some of my students were a little bit confused with those in the past. So, if you have a look at the table on the right of the first page of your document, you will see the French equivalent of the personal or subject pronoun, which we use to replace and not repeat the nouns or the noun phrases. For example, he plays football. He refers to a single male. But if we say we play football, we will refer to me and a group of persons. It is the same in French. Je will correspond to I in English. Sometimes we will find je becoming J apostrophe, and this is because it is followed by a verb starting with a vowel. A, E, I, O, U, or even Y in French. To make it sound better, we will remove the E of je and replace it with an apostrophe, making je become J apostrophe for j'ai, for example. So je or J apostrophe will correspond to I. Tu will correspond to you for a single person that you know well, so an informal you. Il will be he, elle will be she, and on, it. Attention, on is it when it comes to the form or to conjugate the verb, but we will translate it as an informal we. Nous will correspond to we as a group of persons including me. Vous will correspond to you as a group of persons including you, but also as a single person if we want to be formal, which is very important in French. So if I was to speak to the queen, for example, in French, I will use vous and not tu as a mark of respect. Finally, il with an S will compare to they masculine, and elle with an S will compare to they feminine. Now, je, tu, il, elle, et on are considered as singular because they only represent one person, which are represented in blue on your document. When nous, vous et il with an S and elle with an S are plural, as they include more than one person, represented in pink in your table. Another important thing in French is that everything, and when I say everything is masculine or feminine, which is why we use this word and not male or female. For example, a pen is masculine, le stylo. I can't say it is male as it isn't a living thing. So we will say it is masculine. And if I need to refer to the pen, I will say il and not on. Let's take another example. An apple is feminine, la pomme en français. So again, here I will say elle and not on, corresponding to it in English. It might seem a bit silly, I agree, but it's just how it is in French. And this is extremely important because everything works around that in French. Coming back to the accord sujet-verbe, the agreement. Remember When I was saying we need to change the endings of the verb, we do need to do so, but there is a pattern that we will see in a minute and that will help you memorize them all, or even find the ending if you're just a bit lost one day or if you've got a blank. Have a look at the table on the right-hand side of the second page. For any verb, regular or irregular, apart from the verb être, and for any tense, présent, futur ou passé, this pattern will work. So try to remember it forever and keep it close by so you can refer to it whenever you need it. So, for je, the ending will be a I, a S, or an X, and that's it. For tu, it will always, and when I say always, it's always be a S or an X, nothing else. For il, elle, and on, you will never have a S or a X, never. So you can't have il est, is, it just doesn't work. Il est is I-S-T. For the nous form, it will always end in O and S. For the vous form, it will be EZ. And for il with an S and elle with an S, it will be NT. Most of the time, ENT. Et voilà, that's it. Here are the basics of the French conjugation with a super important and foolproof pattern rule to remember. Do have a go at the quiz before starting our next lesson on infinitive. Allez, merci beaucoup et à tout de suite.